Hello there. Thank you for joining me. I'm Helen Sadler, your Destiny Helper. Thank you so much for the emails that I'm getting from you and many of you who are constantly writing me. Excuse me. I really appreciate it. And the question is, um, Helen, what about the narcissist and being codependent? How dangerous is that? Being codependent with a narcissist is very dangerous because being with a narcissist spirit is very dangerous. But a codependent has a tendency to merge their character with whoever they're with. And because the narcissist is self-centered, they are not given to emotions, but they take and use your emotions and drain you of your good emotions because of what they don't have. They require at the person who has the things they don't have. They don't have love. They don't have understanding and caring and sharing. And so they take that from the individual and they remove that from the individual. And once they remove from the individual what they themselves do not have, that individual go into torture while this is happening. The codependent is dependent upon the person they're with to become who they are, and they literally lose themselves because their personality merge with the person they're with. So when they start to merge with the narcissist, and because the narcissist is inconsiderate, the narcissist does not care, the narcissist is going to love bomb them. And so when he love bomb them, the narcissist is going to mirror who the good that they think they have, or to lie to them about what they have. Because when you have a narcissist, there's something good they see inside of you that they will destroy later. And so the codependent is dependent on someone who's going to love bond them, trauma bond them, devaluate them, and discard them. And one thing about being codependent, they release all of their emotions and they take on the emotion, they take on the character. Code is to join with, to become one with. It is to interject into. And so they are not only being with the narcissist, they are giving themselves to the narcissist till they become what they think they're in love with. They're becoming what they think the narcissist want. Because remember, the narcissist does not love. So while you think you're having a relationship with the narcissist is not having a relationship with you. The narcissist is having an experience with you. You are just fuel that is being used for the narcissist. And the narcissist is all about themselves. The relationship was centered around them. Everything was centered around them, while you are getting your personality from them, and you are totally dependent up on them emotionally, socially, because you have not learned to stand on your own. You do not have a description of who you are. So you become what you think others want you to become, and you merge with that. You totally lose yourself and release yourself. And that's why many people that are with narcissists that are codependent, a lot of them end up being hospitalized because they lose their mind behind what they think is love and the fact that they don't love. And because they are abusing themselves of character, and they think they don't have, they always see their lack, they always see their shortcoming, they always see their need. They are totally need based, and they're with a narcissist who is need based. So this need based narcissist that's pulling fuel from a person who's need based, who's pulling character, who's pulling what they think their personality, and merging with them. And when they merge with them, they lose themselves in the merger because they so merge with them until the person that they're with, they no longer can identify where they start or end, because they give themselves over totally to the person. They let their emotions go, they let their mind go, and they just release themselves into what they think is the love of that narcissist and whatever. And the thing about the narcissist, the honeymoon, the love bombing is off the charts, because remember, what good they find in you, they can mirror that and reflect that back to you, and it's so acceptable. And that's why it's easy to love them, you think, and it's easy for you to give yourself to them. And the relationship moves so quick where the person who's codependent never really get a grip on themselves. They never really understand themselves. They never really analyze what is going on. They are after the need. They're trying to please. They're trying to make the narcissist happy at the expense of themselves. It's going to cost them everything. They will give up time. They will give up family, because remember, they are merging and they think this merger is going to pay off, and they think finally they found somebody to love. They think finally they're going to recognize who they are by who they give themselves to, and all of their characteristics, everything about them comes from the other person. They are never independent. They are dependent. Dependent means to rely on, it means not to be able to do anything by yourself. And so they won't do anything by themselves. Whatever the narcissist, through gaslighting, tells them, through devaluation, tells them, they believe it and they'll crush. Their mind is so sensitive until their mind won't let them stand. So their harsh treatment that they receive, they cannot handle, because they are already traumatized coming. That's why they're dependent. They're already lost coming. That's why they're dependent. And the fuel that the narcissist can get from them, a lot of times, many of them don't last long period of time, because the trauma that they experience from the narcissist is so severe until their mind, their emotions cannot handle out. They start to falter because they're self-inflicting pain themselves upon themselves. And then the narcissists come and inflict more pain. And so their pain plus the narcissist pain begin to break down their system, break down their emotion, break down their mind, until they're already confused. They're already losing memory. They are already, and remember the dependency that is already, excuse me, going on with the narcissist because of the hormonal imbalance. All these hormones shooting through your body, and they're off the scale. And on top of this, you are codependent. That does not work with a narcissist. The relationship is totally toxic. The relationship is a very, very dangerous relationship. And the narcissist can pick up your codependency pretty quick and pretty fast, and they will use you to every ounce of what they need, called fuel, has been totally drained from you. And if you have anything left in a drained state, the narcissist will take that too, and they will not stop because you get tired. They will not stop because you are hurt. They will not stop because you lose sight of who you are and you're merging with them. They will keep you merging into total loss. Many people, the statistics are high of codependent people who join with a narcissist end up being on medication, end up being institutionalized. Some of them just lose themselves totally, and some of them end up needing psychiatric help, because the psychology of what the narcissist use on them is so tremendous. It totally caused them to vaporize. I mean, they slowly disappear and they vaporize until there's no substance left in them, no emotions left in them. All of themselves, excuse me, is gone and given to the narcissist. And the narcissist, because they triangulate, they move on. And so the narcissist, if necessary, will reveal, if they know that they are hurting you, that they are triangulating, and they will let you know there is somebody else, but I don't know whether I want to let you go. So they'll hold you because the trauma of you not meeting their expectation, the trauma of there's possibly someone else that you have to compete against, and you are not registering any confidence in yourself. It's a totally destructive measure to you. And then now, not only are you being destroyed by the narcissist, but you are self-inflicting more pain, more trauma on you. Then you have in your mind that possibly there is a third person who is getting a reward that you're working so hard for with the narcissist, but instead of you getting it, they are getting it. And so this is breaking your mind down even further, especially those of you who may have children. This does not stop the codependent from breaking down. The codependent, remember, they merge with what they love. they will soon forget about the child and keep merging with the narcissist until it's an endangerment with the child. And many will find that they have to give the child over to the parent because they will not leave the narcissist. They keep thinking they're going to miss something. They keep thinking they're going to miss out. They keep thinking the narcissist is going to find someone else to give them what they want to give the narcissist. And so they keep on trying. They keep on wanting to satisfy the narcissist. They keep on merging with the narcissist. The deeper the merger, the harder the codependent have a chance of pulling out. They won't pull out. They keep going in deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper until all you see is the narcissist. They lose themselves until there's no freedom. There's no escape because it's no them. And they end up in the hospital, in a mental institution. They end up broken down psychologically because they've given themselves codependently to someone who does not care, someone who's triangulating, someone who will never come back to see how they're doing, someone who's able to forget that they even exist. And so it becomes quite difficult when they get discarded or they get devalued and they are wondering why they are devaluating me. What have I done? And it comes out of the blue. And so they start searching hard for any crumbling place that they were not sufficient in satisfying the narcissist. And they go back to try to fix whatever the narcissist is requiring them to fix. And they never fix it, because once the narcissist realizes that he have you in a vulnerable position, she have you in a vulnerable position, they take the knife and they stick it all the way in the heart. There have been cases where the narcissist even encouraged the codependent to commit suicide, and many have committed suicide through the encouragement of the narcissist, because the narcissist will tell them, you're not wanted, you're not loved, you're not valuable, you're not anything. You might as well go ahead and kill yourself, because there's nothing here on earth for you. You're unfit. Nobody wants you. I no longer love you, which the narcissist has never, ever love them. So the codependent, their emotions are on someone else because of someone else. Their mind and their thoughts on someone because of someone else. And no matter how tired they get, no matter how frustrated they get, no matter how hard it gets, how difficult it gets, the codependent will go to a place of destruction and elimination rather than to let the narcissist go. And the narcissists know that when you go after to please them, and you'll do anything to make them happy, they know they've already won. And the narcissist will move. When a person is codependent, the narcissist will already triangulate, because they know that the codependent don't last too long, because they are too empty. They are too needy. They are too void in their emotions, where they are merging. And when the narcissist would pretend to merge with that person, when they are far from them, they never merge with them. They've never given themselves to them. They use them and use their energy, use their fuel, and move on. And once the person realizes, especially if it's been over a period of time and you figure that they should have loved you by now, the person is crushed. And so like I said, some of the narcissists encourage the person at this point, why don't you go ahead and take your life? There's nothing on earth that's here for you, because I no longer love you. I'm in love with somebody else. And that hurts the codependent. And what they do to make things easier is they go and get medicine or something crazy to say, I'm going to end it if he doesn't love me. So I pray that I've answered your question. I will be back on tomorrow. We was talking about the empath also, and I want to continue talking about that. If you have any questions, please feel free to write me, leave your comments at the bottom. Why don't you like and share the video? And those of you, please subscribe to this channel, push the bell so you can get alert anytime I come on. And remember, the codependent and the narcissist is not a good combination at all. And the codependent is in trouble the moment they join with the narcissist. Well, that's all I have to say. And I'll look for you at the next teaching. I'm Helen Sattler. I am your destiny helper. Remember to subscribe and push the bell so every time I come on, you will get the alert. And share the video and like the video. All right. Have an awesome day.